Assalamualaikum. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to all participants. Okay, so this is the second day. We have this we have a series of webinar in conjunction of celebrating the International Open Access Week 2025. For we will have the whole day session from we start with the Elsevier with the publishers from Elsevier with Dr. Benny, and we have a followed by other publishers. So hope that our participants also may join other session also. You may find it in the chat box, okay, for the other session. And we'll start with the Dr. Benny. Let me introduce Dr. Benny first, okay? So Dr. Benny Ang is a customer consultant, Southeast Asia region at Elsevier. So for today's session, Dr. Benny will share with us on the predatory publishing on open access. So without further ado, I'll pass to Dr. Benny. Please welcome Dr. Benny.
Thank you, Nazira, for the kind introduction. So do allow me to have 1 minute to share my slide. Good morning, everyone. So please do let me know if you can see my slide in presenter mode. Nazira?
Yeah, we can see it clearly.
Okay, thank you. So good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining me this session this morning virtually. So in conjunction with Open Access Week organizing by UNIMAP, so probably I think it would be beneficial for me to talk about the tricks and the challenges in open access publishings. Yeah, because now the trend on open access publishing, where we are also need to be aware on the tricks and the challenges that potentially trap us outside of the world in open access publishings. So these are the topics that I'm going to cover today on the warning sign of predatory journals, the essential question to ask when evaluating a journals, checklist to determine whether a journal is reputable or not, and also the tool to find journal based on various selection criteria. Yeah. So
sorry, Dr. Benny.
yeah.
You are showing the fourth slide. Can you click at the beginning?
Let me try.
Yeah. Okay.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Doktor Benny, kita tak nampak doktor punya presentation tu, screen presentation. Just nampak slide saja.
Okay, kejap ya. Kalau sekarang?
Tak juga. Masih lagi nampak slide.
Kejap
Not the slideshow.
Kalau sekarang okey tak?
Ya, okey.
Okay. So,
Ada.
kalau I tukar slide, nampak juga ya?
Ya, nampak.
Okay. So, as what I mentioned earlier, so these are the topics that I'm going to cover today, this morning, including the sign of predatory journals. What are the questions we should ask when we are evaluating a journals? Checklist to determine whether a journal is reputable or not, as well as the tool to find journal based on various selection criteria, right? Because if you all don't know, or if you all might know, predatory journal usually, and I think most of the time, 99% of them came from open access, right? Only open access publishers or open access journal tends to be having a risk to becoming predatory journals. That's why I think it is important for me to brief everyone here what are the tricks, what are the challenges, and how to determine if the journal, especially the open access journal, are the genuine one, right? So I think I wouldn't talk much about this beginning of the part, but I will go through briefly um, about finding a journals, evaluating a journals, right? So hopefully after reviewing and applying the do and don'ts within these pages, it will help you to increase the chances, the successful rate of your paper to be able to publish in open access journals, right? So usually when we find a journal, we usually will ask around our peers, our supervisor, our mentors, our senior, our junior, right? To check with them, have they recently published any papers? Which publisher they go for? Or which journal they go for, how is it like the turnover time, how is it the peer review process, is it smooth, thorough, nasty? So these are usually the questions that we are uh, asking around on the networks surrounding us. Yeah. And sometimes, if you are not sure whether the journal is legitimate or not, is valid or not, is it a hijack journal, is it a bad journal, is it a predatory journal, you can always book a consultation with the librarian because they are the information experts that can lead you to the right way to publish to a good journals. And of course, when we are finding a journal, we can also continue the online searching by using the scholarly resources online. Like example, look at where the articles that have cited were published, the journal reference in the bibliography of the key reference in the field, search for the authors in the field and discover where they are usually publishing. And of course, when finding a journal, there are something that we need to be considered. Example, whether is it open access journals or non-open access journals, especially for the big publishers like Elsevier, we are treating everyone equally the same. Whether you are paying the APC or not paying the APC, you still have to go through the same stringent level, the highest level of the stringency on the peer review process. So there will not be any easier way or what we so-called green lane or express way for your paper to get published with paying the APC. So I can't say on behalf of others, so many thousands of publishers in the world, but at least in Elsevier, what I can be assured to every one of you here, whether publishing open access or not, the process, the stringency is the same like any other journal within Elsevier. Yeah. So it is also important to find a journal. There are some sort of consideration that you might want to consider, right? What is your manuscript format, original research article or reviews? Because some of the journals, right, they are only accepting original research articles. Some of them are only accepting review, vice versa. And if you have a need to publish open access, that is also another consideration or criteria that you need to review, right? And are you seeking with a title with a multidisciplinary journal or interdisciplinary focus? Another consideration. And another next point, do you want to publish with a specific publisher? Yeah, some people have specific preference towards Elsevier. Then I will showcase you the tool, how you can make full use of the tool to find the suitable journal title within Elsevier journal for your academic paper submission. Yeah. And the next one, are you publishing research data or other output alongside the articles? So if you have a need or if you are interested to find a journal within open access for your submission of your journal or for your paper, right? There are a few of the tools available to help you to find open access journal as below, right? So you can make full use of directory of open access journal DOAJ. This is a tool, online community curated directory. The indexes and link to open access and peer-reviewed journal. The next one is Inago Open Access Journal Finder. Yeah. All the titles under this Inago Open Access Journal Finder are DOAJ certified. And of course, the most commonly and famous use of tool called Scopus is a source-neutral, expertly curated abstract and citation database. You can turn on the open access filter when you are looking for the journal. Then you get all the title of the open access journal that you can consider. So bear in mind, in Scopus tool, you are not just visible to Elsevier journal title. You are also visible to other publishers' journal title that index in Scopus. That is what we so-called a source neutral. So this is not limited to Elsevier journal title alone. It is also indexing on other publisher journal title. So this is also another interesting tool that you can make full use of it. And of course, in the end of this presentation, I will showcase a few of the real case study to you and let you know in outside of the world, open access journal can turn back and how you can check with using Scopus, prevent yourself to publish in that journal and potentially that journal got delisted or discontinued in Scopus, and it is a waste for your effort. All right. And if you have multidisciplinary preferences, we have EDAN Journal Selector, Journal Guide, and of course Scopus and Outreach Web Global Serial Directory for you to find the suitable journal title within multidisciplinary focus. And if you have publisher specific, yeah, we have Elsevier Journal Finder and also other publisher, they have their own journal suggestor tool and journal finder tool as well. So since I am from Elsevier, I'm going to showcase to you the Elsevier Journal Finder. So Elsevier Journal Finder is using the smart search technology to match the title of the abstract of your manuscript to potential journal title under Elsevier. So what you just need to do in Elsevier Journal Finder, I believe when you completed your manuscript, you would have your abstract ready already. So what you just need to do, you just need to copy your abstract from Microsoft Word, paste into the enter your abstract column here, and you click Find Journals. So when you click Find Journal, this would be the landing page as how it is look like. Yeah. So there are several things that it is interesting to see here. We would like to also look at the impact score, like site score, impact factor, acceptance rate, time to first edition, and time to publication. So site score is the mirror index to impact factor. We are taking count the 5 years window of citation and 5 years window of publications to calculate the site score. It is just a mirror factor, mirror score to impact factor. And it is also showing the impact factor for sure. And we are also exhibiting the acceptance rate. So when you are seeing 25% of the acceptance rate means 100 papers submitted to us, only 25 of the paper that submitted to us will be considered for publication. And the rejection rate, of course, in return will be 75% rejection. Time to first edition, 3 weeks, means within 3 weeks or as soon as 3 weeks, you will be delivered the first edition. So the first edition doesn't tell you whether your paper got accepted or not, but the first edition will tell you if your paper got into peer review stage or your paper got rejected right away. right? So that is the definition of time to first edition. Time to publication means within 2 weeks, once your paper got accepted, it will be published online. So the second things that you would probably need to see here is the publishing option for this journal. When you are seeing both logo, open access and subscription logo available on this journal, means this is a hybrid journal. Hybrid journal means you have a choice to go for open access publishing, and you also have a choice for go for subscription-based publishing without involving a publishing charge. So as if you want to opt for open access publishing under these journals, then the publishers will issue you an invoice after your paper got accepted and charge you for 4,710 US dollar. Yeah. So if you see two logo available, means this is the hybrid journal. But you might also get to see like biomedicine and pharmacotherapy journal example. You only see open access logo there. What does this mean? If you are seeing open access logo alone, means this journal is a Go open access journal. You don't have other choices. Once you decided to submit your paper there, and once your paper got accepted by the journals will issue you the invoice to ask you to pay for $3,200 for the open access article processing charge. Yeah. So these are all the useful information that you can see and obtain from Elsevier Journal Finder. And for me, it's rather important for you all to consider all these factors, all these scores, all these metrics before you deciding next step where you should publish. Especially when you are looking to publish open access journals. These are the 7 key questions that you should consider when you're evaluating the journal that you have identified. Number 1, is the manuscript the right fit for the journals? Are there any funders or institutional mandates to consider? Is the journal visible in the community you want to reach? Is there a reasonable chance of acceptance? Is the journal indexed in all relevant databases? What do the journal metrics reveal? And is the journal reputable or not? Or whether they are practicing robust peer review process or not. So we will go through it one by one, right? Do research the journal aim and scope on the journal information page, usually found on the publisher website. So it will show you the recent articles, and based on this information, you can assess whether your paper is a good fit or not. Never at all, you should just judge right away by looking at the title of the journals, because that is too surface and will not give you enough information whether your paper is a right fit for that journal or not. So always read at the journal aim and scope on the journal information page and see in details what sort of the paper they are actually looking into consideration. So never ever to submit your manuscript to the journal without checking the journal aim and scope, because that is usually the key reason that the text editor immediately reject your manuscript, is that the paper is a good poor fit for that journals. Yeah. And the second one, do investigate the journal to discover the following information, like what are the subject area that they are covering, types of the article they are considering, the discipline that covered, whether supplemental files are welcome, regional or global reach. So in recent years, new form of articles have emerged, and often alongside journals specifically developed to publish them. So we have also have new ways of the publishing, including data publishing. So these are the journal, full Go open access journals in Elsevier. We call it data in brief, right? So I believe every one of you do research along the way. You would not probably include all the data that you have done in your papers or in your thesis. There might be some of the extra data that you kept in your PC for not being publishing it. So if you found those data is useful to enlighten other people. Let's say if that set of data probably a negative data, you believe it is also useful for you to publish it to tell people you have done this and this, and it gives you negative result. So a negative result is also result to tell people, right? Then you can consider yourself to publish your data in this data journal called Data in Brief. So it is indexed in Scopus and it is a gold open access journals. Yeah. So second question, are there any funders or institutional mandates to consider? Because at least in Malaysia, we still don't have these mandates yet. But if you are collaborating with the researchers from overseas, researchers from like Europe, US, right? All the grant that obtained by the researcher actually bound to the mandate to publish their research papers or to publish their research outcome in the open access journal. So do ensure the journal align with the funders or institutional requirement regarding the publication. And the journal information page will explain options around open access, data publication, and use of persistent identifiers. So publisher website will often provide information on how to comply with specific funding body mandates. Yeah. So don't forget to investigate the institutional or funder requirement regarding the publication. If you are failed to comply, so it will jeopardize the future funding or collaboration opportunity with your collaborator overseas, right? So this is particularly important if you are collaborating with the researcher from the West that practicing mandatory open access publishing. But it is users within Malaysia that this should not be a big concern for you to be aware of. Okay. And the third one is the journal reach in the community you want to reach, right? Once we publish our paper, we hope people will read our paper so that people will reference it, people will cite it, and that's how you gain the citation points and also how you grow your H index number, right? So always check the journal in and scope for the information on the readership. In Elsevier journal, there are selected journals display a map showing where, which region or which country that this journal being downloaded to. So at least give you some preliminary info or insight or very high level insight, to tell you that once your paper got accepted to be published in this journal, potentially your paper will be downloaded by this and this and this region over the world. So do check whether your colleague and mentors read and recommend the journal. Find out if the journal paper are indexed in databases relevant to your subject area. Example, PubMed in the case of life science and biomedical research. So never ever publish in the journal that are not reaching to the audience who can benefit from your work, or otherwise you will end up with a lot of paper being published, but no one cite your paper, no one read your paper, no one download your paper, ended up you have a very low citation score, very low H index point. Yeah, that is certain things that we need to consider by outside of just to get our paper published or get our paper accepted. We must also make sure our paper published or got accepted in a good journal, in a good platform that accessible to many other many other researchers over the world that have chance to read, and you have chance to expose and showcase your work to other people over the world. So do look for the acceptance or rejection rate, then factor it into the decision-making process. Because not all journal may offer this information, and this can be found for Elsevier journal within the Elsevier journal finder. Because it is also important for us to have some mental preparation. Yeah. Especially nowadays, the lecturer, the student also have a KPI on GOT, graduate on time. So if you don't have your paper being published or accepted, it will not be able for you to obtain the Senate letter, or some of the university may not be even able to attend Viva. So that will affect your progress. So don't submit to a journal extremely unlikely to accept your papers, especially if quick publication is a priority, because you lose the time spent submitting and waiting for editor and reviewer comment. And if you receive constructive comment upon rejection, be sure to incorporate them before submitting to a new journal. So in Elsevier, open access journal or non-open access journal, they will go through the same pathway. They will go through the same channel for the peer review process. So our peer review process only have one channel, single channel, no other special channel for open access publishing. Once you opt for open access publishing or you opt for a subscription-based publishing, you go through the same channel to have your paper to be evaluated by the peer reviewer that we appointed. Once they give the comments, then we will consider further if there is a major amendment or minor amendment. Okay. So it can be quite tempting to submit to a journal with the highest impact metrics or the most recognized name in the field. But however, these often have the highest rejection rate. But that doesn't mean that our manuscript won't be accepted. Just that probably only worth submitting if meets all the journal criteria. The higher it is, the impact metric of that journal, the more tougher it is, and the more comments coming from the peer reviewer that we need to address. So usually in the highest impact metrics journal, their reviewer sometimes can go up to 5 or 7%, and each person gives you a page of full of the comment on A4 papers, and there will be 5 to 7 pages of the comment that you need to attend to, right? So you need to weigh the balance in between, whether if your work really worth submitting there. If you think yes, worth submitting there, then that probably go ahead, right? Or otherwise, don't waste time. It's seriously very time consuming. And do search for the journal in a scholarly database that has rigorous selection process such as Scopus or Web of Science. Yeah, don't rely solely on the journal claim to be listed in database. Predatory journal may make false claim, especially predatory journal. They are the one that contribute to the highest number of the predatory journal, because from there only the predatory journal can get to earn the money from the APC charge, right? So check whether the journal is listed in the database with journals review process or not, right? By using Scopus. If you are using Scopus to check, I will also showcase to you in the end of the presentation today. I have a few case study how to check and what are the things to look at. Yeah, how to prevent to jump into the journal that potentially delisted by Scopus. So do search within an abstract and citation database such as Scopus that allowed you to find and compare journal based on several citation metrics, and don't rely solely upon one number or type of the metric when deciding where you should publish, because knowing how the journal content has previously performed can help you to understand its reach and impact. And also, using Scopus to know how the journal content has previously performed can help you to prevent to get into the discontinuation of the journal by Scopus. So I will tell you the tips and the tricks later. So the San Francisco Declaration on the Research Assessment and other initiatives have recommended to reduce the focus on impact factor, and alternative approaches include the NIH relative citation ratio, as well as to also consider the CITE score. So till date, there is no universally agreed definition on the predatory publisher or predatory journal. So the organizations like Committee on Publication Ethics, COPE, and WAME define global publication ethics standard. So any journals or any publisher that do not meet those standards will be deemed as predatory journals. Okay. So these are the 5 warning signs of predatory journal, which might include one of the following, especially when we are actively looking for open access journal publishings. Yeah. So this kind of open access publishings or this kind of open access journals or predatory journals, they are usually very aggressive and they are very active. Day and night sending out the call for paper email, often for a fee, right? And the call for paper email contains spelling and grammatical errors. And this kind of bad journal usually have short publication history for issue of viewer, even though the journal has been existed in the platform for several years. And usually their scope is very broad, or the content published doesn't match its stated aim and scope. And it usually promises you a very rapid publication. They tell you, please pay me $1,000, 500 US dollar. I'll get your paper to publish within 48 hours. So you have to understand whether it is APC, open access journal, or non-open access journals. I have mentioned earlier many times, the peer review channel is single channel. It always the same channel, we use the same. So whether it's open access or not, that is not possible to have a 48 hours acceptance, right? So publishing in a predatory journal can have negative consequences, and your article is not perceived as meeting a quality standard because it lacks peer review. And article processing charged by the funders or institution are lost, potentially impacting the future grant or career progression opportunities. So the reach of your work could be limited. The journal is not indexed in leading database, and the work itself may be lost if it is not archived correctly. So as what I understand correctly, Kementerian Pendidikan Tinggi has also issued a letter few years back to indicate there are certain publishers that cannot be make full use of the fund or the grant from the government to fund the APC for that particular publishers. So it is always important to understand, to be staying sensitive on do and don'ts within the academic journal submissions. So do use the following checklist as if you are the lecturers. Please also share this checklist to your students, or if you are the postgraduate student, please make use of this checklist to share with your mentors or mentee, your senior, your junior, right? The checklists are as the following. First of all, we have to check whether the journal is it listed in the relevant journal finders tool or databases or not. Yeah, this is important. We doesn't want to publish the journals that is not being indexed, because that will eventually end up as a waste. Yeah, that eventually will be the waste. If you publish certain things that is not being indexed, your university wouldn't get the credits or so forth. Second thing, is it enrolled in COPE, Committee on Publication Ethics? Third, can you tell who owns the journals, right? Fourth, is the journal published by a well-known reputable society, academic press, or publishing house? Next one, is it clear who the editor and editorial board are? Does it perform some form of peer review? Are APC and the timing of fees clear? And does the publisher provide details about open access licenses and their associated conditions? So these are the checklists we need to be staying clear of. So I will pick a few questions here, the checklist, to check on it one by one. So most reputable publishers enroll their journal in COPE, and this information is usually visible on the publisher website. The COPE membership provides editors and authors with the reassurance that comprehensive publishing and research ethic guidelines will be followed. Yeah. Journal management, always good to check where their address and contact details. There are many local publishers. The last few years I have seen they registered their business address in the condo, in the residential. That is not appropriate. And there are some of the publishers registered with a non-existent address that couldn't even be seen and located by Google Maps. So no mobile phone numbers or obvious residential addresses. These are usually the bad publishers or the bad journal that are running on the open access basis. So be careful if the editor and publisher is the same person, as this can be a warning sign, although it doesn't always mean the journal is suspected. So if you are not familiar with the journal editors or the member of the editorial board, you can always verify if they are still active or if they even being appointed or not to that journal officially. So sometimes their CV online can be seen, or especially if they're being appointed to a famous journal's editors or editorial board members, right? it is kind of a big credit to their CV, and usually they will be more than happy to show it on the CV. So you can check by using this method to see if the appointment is the legitimate one or not. And peer review is regarded as the cornerstone of scholarly publishing, a valuable stamp of approval for a published manuscript. If a journal submission to publication time is measured in hours or days, or the EPC is payable upfront, the journal is unlikely to offer robust peer review. So a reputable journal is open about its peer review process, describing whether it is single or double blind, pre or post publication, etc. So all genuine open access publishing, they will not ask you for the upfront payment, right? So in Elsevier, particularly since I'm coming from Elsevier, I'm the Elsevier rep, all Elsevier open access journal will only charge you as when you pass the peer review stage. You corrected based on their comments and they officially accepted your papers, then they will charge you. Or other than that, the bad open access publishers or open access journal will then charge you upfront because they wanted to earn money. Yeah. So be cautious. The reputable open access journal or publisher will only invoice if your article is accepted for publication. So it is also very easy to find the detail about their license option, their payment conditions, because they are generally featured on their journal information page. And it can be seen clearly at the author's guideline. How much is it? When to pay, according to a country, according to the region, and so forth. So coming to this end of my presentation, I have 3 case studies to showcase. So we can do some sort of like a case study showcasing here. So the first one, this is the open access journals. It's called International Journal of Civil Engineering and Technology. So it got discontinued in Scopus in the year of 2019. Yeah. So look, by judging from the title of the journal, it is called International Journal of Civil Engineering and Technology. Yeah. By looking at the subject area, it's also called engineering, building and construction, civil and structural engineering, computer science engineering, and engineering control and system engineering. But look at the next page. The paper that they published, Sustainability of Halal Food through the Conversion of Abandoned Land for Agricultural Purpose. Animal urine therapy according to Islamic and scientific perspective. The legality of using ketum leaf according to Sharia perspective. All 3 of these papers not at all related to engineering. First one is related to food and agriculture. The second one, probably medical sciences or health sciences. And the third one, probably on Islamic or humanities or social science perspective. So none of them falls within the subject area as claimed when they submit their journal for indexing. So this kind of bad attitude or bad things has been detected by Scopus, and we impose the discontinuation. They delisted from Scopus indexing. So if you have a doubt on a certain open access journal, go to scopus.com, go to sources, type in the journal's name, and you look at the subject area number 1, and you look at the paper published by them, and see if you can find anything fishy. If you can find a fishy publication that is totally outside of the subject area as claimed, although that time is still indexed in Scopus, but I believe not long after that it will be detected and it will be discontinued by Scopus. You should avoid that kind of journals. This is the tips number 1. Number 2, this journal is called International Journal of Clinical and Experimental Medicine. It discontinued in Scopus as well. Yeah, but in other indexing database, it used to be in SCIE and downgraded, de-escalated to ESCI. So there must be certain reason why Scopus discontinued it. There must be also reason why other database downgraded the indexing. So you have to ask yourself, after checking with multiple indexing databases, are you still convinced to go ahead to submit your paper there? Or if you still convinced, or if you think you want to play a bet, then that is also a risk that you need to be carried on about possible discontinuation. Yeah. So once the journal is got discontinued, your paper eventually will not be recognized as the Scopus Index publication, and that was how your academic effort has been wasted. Yeah. Number 3, this is what recently happened. This penerbit called Penerbit Academia Baru, yeah, or owned by Semara Ilmu. Okay. It's a local Malaysia private publishing house. Yeah. The journal of name called Journal of Advanced Research Design. So when I look at the site score and when I look at the document that they publish, can you see in year 2021 until year 2023, they got only 12 documents. They behave very well. Yeah. But year 2024, they suddenly increased by 6-7-fold to 71 documents. And 2025 to date, they have 130 documents, 2 folds by half a year. Yeah. So what we so-called outlier performance. They are the bad actor trying to increase the number of publications once they got indexed in Scopus. Once they increase the publications document, they disregard. They are not taking care of the quality of the journal anymore, but increased by 6-7-fold, 2-3-folds. And we might have the reason to look at the documents or the paper that accepted by them. And that might also be a quality concern when you are mass accepting the paper for manifold higher than the previous years. Then upon we got the outcome from the investigation, we decided to discontinue the indexing in Scopus recently. So if you go to Scopus, you type in the name of the journal that you are suspecting it, and you look at the numbers of their publication for the past 5 years at least, if you see many fold of increase suddenly the next year, you have to quickly jump and run away from that journals. Yeah, never ever take the risk. Never ever take the risk to even just submitting there, right? Once you submitted there and you see coverage discontinue in Scopus, that will be quite a sad thing that you need to bear the risk for having your academic effort being wasted. Okay, so I have done my 45-minute presentation, so I will reserve like 10-15 minutes for the floor and see if you all have any question to ask me before I end the session officially. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Benny.
Yeah.
So that for the informative sharing, okay, all the tips and tricks to all our researchers, okay. So anyone, do you have any question to Dr. Benny? You may put it in chat or just ask Dr. Benny directly. Thank you. Dr. Benny, there's a chat box from Lubna, just the the opinion, because she shared that we have many tools, okay, in for the journal finder.
Yep.
Like the Trinka AI and so on. So what's your opinion, your suggestion? Which one we should take a look use for the journal finder?
Thank you. So I think this is a very good question. Anything deal with AI is basically a trend now, but that is also a thing that we need to concern and consider of. Would that tool a trustable one, or would that be any hallucination, possible hallucination? Uh, because I'm not really familiar with this Trinca AI tool. That's why I can't comment much. But I just want everyone to stay aware of if you are ever considering of any AI tool. Yeah, um, please put in a concern about the trustability of the tool, as well as would that be any risk on the hallucination that give you incorrect informations or inaccurate informations on this part. Yeah. So if you have any specific preference on the journal publisher, I would advise you to use back the respective publisher journal finder for a more accurate informations. Yeah.
Okay. Any other question? We have around 15 minutes more. So if you have any question on the publication, please share with Dr. Benny. Dr. Benny, can you share more on the, the discontinued titles in Scopus? Okay, so yeah, as you shared before, it will not be counted. Okay, because as at the university level, we do some analysis and so on. So all the discontinued title would not be counted. We will not take a look back, or in terms of quality or reputation and so on. So what's your suggestion or opinion on this?
So the discontinued title, of course, the quality concern is one of the matter. But sometimes, even though if they are not having any quality concern, but not punctual publication, I mean, in a year they're supposed to commit 4 issue, but they have less than 4 issue to be published, that will also be resulted in the discontinuation of the title. Yeah. So my take on that will be please make full use of the corpus to check on the legitimacy of the journals before you want to submit. Even though if they are still yet to be in the discontinued title list, but when you follow my way to check, like over the year, they have 6-fold, 7-fold, 3-fold, 2-fold of increase on the publication number. That will also soon to be discontinued once the scopus detected and the investigation came out to prove that they are actually manipulating the number of the acceptance. So that might take. So not just looking at the discontinued title list, that one has already came out with a verdict. But what about those potentially doing bad thing and still under the investigation? So check the numbers of the paper that accepted by them for the past 5 years to check, are they potentially currently doing bad things? Yeah. So it will somehow protect you from getting into the trap, especially those who are into small publishers running on the small open access journals. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Thank you so much. We have a question, Dr. Benny, from our postgraduate student, Siti Mahfuza. From Elsevier's perspective, what are the key factors that increase a manuscript's chance of being accepted by a high impact journal?
In the journal, especially the high impact journals, right? So they are looking for the novelty, of the research outcome to be published, because only then the novelty will attract the reader to read and reader to cite, and that will how the Elsevier maintain its quality on also maintains the citation, maintain the H index, maintain the impact factor of the journal. So I have ever heard before, I and another accepted authors did similar research, but his one got published, but not mine. So I also contacted one of the editor-in-chief to check about this matter. So the editor-in-chief told me, see, this thing has been published, both of you doing the similar thing. So where is the novelty? So what is the value of a journal to publish both similar thing, but just a twist a bit on the agent, twist a bit on the methodology. So he still deemed two are a very similar paper and have no value to accept the second one. So always good to check uh, the archive of the journal, especially in Elsevier journal, to see their past publication, at what level they are looking at, what sort of methodology and method they are looking at, and also have your paper published similarly in that particular journal or not. So that will give you some clues whether you have any good chance to have your paper to be accepted by that journal or not. Yeah. So I hope I answered your question, Siti Mahfuza.
Thank you, Dr. Benny. Any other question? I think last question. Yeah, from the floor. Um, okay. I think if there is no any other question, so I think it's we are in the end of session. So thank you so much, Dr. Benny, for the sharing, for the all the tips. Okay, so we may follow all the tips. Okay, and of course, before the before we publish, we need to choose wisely which journals. Okay, I think it might take a quite yeah, you have to spend a time to check it properly and to make sure you publish to the correct and the authentic journals. Okay, so um, thank you so much to all participants joining this first session, and thank you so much, Dr. Benny, for your time. We see you in the next session. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Puan Nazira. Thank you, everyone that joining me this
Yeah.
morning.
Have a nice day. Yeah.
Yeah.
To all.
Good luck to your research. Bye bye.
Bye bye. Thank you.